Hello, everyone. Welcome. So today I want to touch upon something really fairy because that's kind of where I've been right now. Is I've been rescheduling a lot of things, repurposing a lot of stuff, and like getting ready to fire up towards the next season, fire up towards my next goals. And as I do so, again, I am just coming back to the same crossroads, which I always find myself in, is that when you are starting a new season, when you are setting up new goals, when you are kind of, asking yourself those important pivotal questions about like why are you here on earth for, what's more meaningful for you, what are like the most important things for you in your life, what are the things that really matter. And one of the questions which I really like asking a lot of people who I discuss this with, and totally by myself as well, like all the fucking time, like all the, like all the time, is what are the goals or what are the dreams that are so important for you that if at like I don't generally use time to measure things because I believe in living out of it, but as a compass, what if at the age of 65, 70, 80, 85, 90, whatever that is, whatever that looks far enough for you at that age, when you look back at your life, what is the one or two or three, what are the handful of things that if you had achieved, you would feel satisfied? And again, the reverse as well. What are the handful of those things? Not 10, not 20, but probably two or three. Ideally, one. Ideally, one. If you can come down to that point, then that's it. You're like really hitting the nail on the head. What is the one thing if you had not done, if you had not put your energies into, that your life would just look meaningless? Looking back at the age of 75, 80, 85, whatever it is, when you look back at your life, what is that one thing that if you had not done, had cocked off, or like chickened out, or like thought that it was getting too tough and I won't do it, or like it wasn't getting easy, or it wasn't, yeah, you were getting your heart broken, or like you were not able to execute it, or you just didn't put in enough. What is that one thing which will haunt you the most, which will not let you feel like it was worth it at all? That is that one thing that you need to build your goals around, because that is the most important thing for you. That is the most non-negotiable dream or goal inside you. And it's difficult to generally like zone in and find that unless like you're like an ace meditator, somebody who's like really gone deep within themselves. It's kind of difficult to get it because we kind of want so many different things, right? And at different times those things keep changing, but remember, these are only the surface level ones. These are the peripheral ones, the ones that are truly inside you, the deepest core values, the deepest core dreams, the deepest core desires, the ones that just have to they just have to be executed. You just have to do them. Why? Because it's your destiny. You're here to do that. You're here to become a flag bearer for something. You're here to satisfy that aspect of your life. when you when you can get down to that single pointed goal, if you can get down to that one thing, to begin with, even two or three is good. Even getting to two or three is quite difficult. You should start writing it down and check it out how difficult it is to say that at the age of 75, 80, if I didn't do these two, three things, like my life would not have made any sense to me. Try to get down to two or three. It's not easy. It's quite a task because when you really start to focus in on it, the mind first just tells you about all the desires that it has. Now, I am not talking about desires. I'm not talking about fulfilling your desires because, of course, they're important, but they're still peripheral. They're not the ones that will bring you the deepest of satisfaction, the layers of satisfaction that you want. They're not those ones. The ones that I'm talking about are not flaky desires. The ones that I'm talking about are like cut through, penetrative level things which are so valuable to you that decade after decade, when you even look back at your life, you just like, ah, that's how did I not do that? Or that's the thing I really want to do. That's why does it seem so difficult? Or like life just came the way and I couldn't do it. All of these other layers, they all seem to like not make sense because nothing without that one thing is meaningful. If you can find that one thing, that is on which you can make things completely non-negotiable. Now, what is it for me? For me, it is about taking that sound which I found during my most turbulent of times. In fact, in my most turbulent of times, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was going crazy because I was being constantly like hunted down by demonic sounds. Again, I say sound because that was the medium in which my fear was being transmitted to me. For some people, it's visual, for some people, it's something else. Whatever it is for you, it has very linked with your very depths. That's why I'm so afraid of it, because it has the power for your higher self, your higher grandeur. So I was really, really, really petrified by sounds. I was very scared of it. Like I remember being at Osho Meditation Center and just ran out at like midnight or like way past that as well. And all I could hear was just haunting sounds or just demonic, terrible sounds. Like when the traffic noises sounded like they were demons chasing behind me. Now I say this with a smile because it's kind of been it. Yeah, I don't feel it anymore. Right? It's been transformed, so I don't feel the pain or the ache anymore. But it was quite bad, and the thing was, I thought that's the thing I'm running away from. That's like the worst thing for me. And the more I felt that, the more I got attracted to it as well. And that's when, long story short, I went into multiple meditation journeys, got in, penetrated sound to an extent where I reached a state where sound and silence, which are generally seen as opposites, existed in one space together, existed in one space in a way that the very source of them, which is soundlessness. Now, soundlessness does not mean silence, it just means that it is the very womb of sound and silence both together. If silence in the regular term would just mean absence of sound. So it's sound and the absence of sound. These two polarities put together gives you soundlessness. So when I found myself in that state where I was one with the soundlessness, that is the state where the first sound has not yet been made in the universe. And interestingly so, the first silence has also not been made in the universe. Now, this is quite tricky, right? It's not very easy to explain, but the first sound has not been made, and so has the first silence not been made. So it's a state beyond the creation of both. Generally, because we associate non-creation with silence, or like, oh, there was nothing, so then it must have been silent because there was nothing. If there was something, there would have been some kind of noise. It's not actually true. There's sound and then there is silence, or sound and the lack of sound. Now, when both of these are absent, you're at the very source of it. There's soundlessness. So that's a state a little bit more deeper than sound and silence put together. So from that state, when I kind of came back and decided to so-called, get on with it, get on into life and have an impact, and to bring that beauty, or to bring that peace, or to bring that solitude, or to bring that emotion which I feel inside of me out onto the earth and share it with people. When I kind of started to feel that, is when I realized this is what I'm here on earth for. This is exactly what I'm here on earth for. Because I have this connection to this beautiful nectar, which is at the very core of our sonic experiences itself. Now I need to bring this out to the people. I need to bring this out. Now, when I feel this very deeply. I feel it in a singular way, in a way that, as I said, there's not two, there's not three, but there's like one goal. It's not a desire. This is very different from a desire of traveling or getting a bigger car or a plane for yourself, or even performing in a very large venue or something for a musician. It's still a desire. This is like it's core level stuff. Yes, it will translate into that, but this is what I want to get onto the earth. This is what I want to develop. So that's going to be my pursuit since that for many, many years. And that is the sound that I'm kind of developing. That is the sound that has become music now for me. That is the sound which will eventually become my musical show, which is what I'm working towards, which is so clear in my mind that here on earth, this is what I'm here for, to bring that thing inside me, the singular quality out into the open, out into the world and share it. And generally, when it's singular in such a nature, it's generally, how would you put it? It's generally altruistic to a certain extent because it's got a dimension of sharing the beyond with the planet. So you're bringing something from the beyond and projecting that as a beautiful sonic experience as a show to those who have maybe not done that journey, who've done different journeys. So when you're on a mission like that, you're like one with it, then one with the very, one with the very life force inside you, the very need to live. Like if we question about why are we here, why do we even live? Would it even matter if you died? Would it even matter if you didn't live long? Would it even matter if didn't live a satisfied life? Would it even matter if you were not successful? When you start to ask these fundamental things, you go back to the very essence of why you're here in the first place. Like, why were you put here? Let's not even go to why you were put here. Why are you here? Because now you take the autonomy back, right? Take the power back. Why are you here? When you associate that, or like even associate with like, how am I breathing? How is it continuing? How is it still going on? It could stop at any time. How is it still going on? It might stop someday, but how is it not stopping right now? How is it going on? There has to be some drive behind it. There has to be a purpose behind it. And when you find this singular quality in you, when you find this singular reason for why you're here, when you find this singular thing which will satisfy you in levels unimaginable, that is when you are in touch with that one goal, with that one single pointed mission statement of yours that you're here to execute. And that is that one thing which, at the age of whatever you want to call it, 75, 80, at the end of your life, when you look back, if you were able to be honest with yourself and say that I have given my everything to this one thing and I have developed it for what it was to be, that for me is satisfaction at its purest. Now, when you fulfill desires, you become happy. You become temporarily happy. Yes, you're going to get sad again, but satisfaction is something else. It's something way more layers deeper than that. And why do I say that dreams are non-negotiable? I say that because if you can tap into something so deep inside you, that the very life force which supports your continuity of breathing, your continuity of existence, your continuity of being here itself, if you can attach that to that very force, to that very life force, then your so called dream, which is basically a reality, which is still in its dormant state or womb state, and is now slowly going to become a full blown out reality in the third dimension. It's the same as when a baby is in its embryo state and its mother's womb. It's out there in dormant. It's just an imagination. If you look at it, a baby is just an imagination of the parents, isn't it? They imagined it first, right? They just imagined that we could have this beautiful baby. Then slowly it's in the womb. And then, like all the things that it goes through to have it come out as a reality, it's such a beautiful thing. It's unexplainable, isn't it? It's the same kind of feeling you'll have when you become unnegotiable with your dream, when you find something that is worth dreaming, firstly, something which is so deep in you, which is worth bringing into reality, which is worth living for, just adds new meaning to everything, just transfigures everything, which sets a sense of calm inside of you in layers which cannot be touched by victory and defeat from the outside, because your purpose is so damn clear. You know why you're here, you know what you're going to do about it, and you know that no is not an answer. It's not negotiable. The very life force supports you, and life itself tells you internally, if you tap into this dream, you know it is not negotiable. Not even in the face of Armageddon. It is not negotiable.